There are usually two reasons for why people are not able to achieve their goals, and today we're going to go over about solving those two issues. The first issue that most people encounter when trying to achieve their goals is that they simply forget about their goals. Have you ever had a moment in your life where you set a goal and then just to find out 3 months from that moment that you completely forgot about that goal? Well, I'm sure most people have went through that. And so how can we go about easily solving that problem? The first thing that we need to do is just simply read our goals on a daily basis to keep reminding ourselves about our goal. The same way when we go to the gym and we do the same exercise over and over and over again, we need to do the same thing with our goals. We need to keep reminding ourselves about our goals for our brain to think about them and try to find solutions for those problems. The more you think about a problem, usually the better solution you come up. And the same way, the more we repeat our goals, the more likely we're able to achieve those goals. Let's dive into OneNote and continue where we left off last time. This is how we left off in the last video. Also, if you're new to this video and you haven't checked out the last video, go ahead and check that out. Don't miss key points. Okay, so today is October 15th, and if we look at Joe's schedule for the past few days, we could see that he has been doing OneNote for most of the days, but there's a few days on October 9th and October 12th he completely didn't open OneNote and he didn't do anything, and that's totally fine. There will be days that either you'll just forget or you won't get to it. But let's look at another thing that I really want you to pay close attention is sleep time, right? So there's a lot of days where he actually didn't make it to bed at 9 p.m. And what I want you to pay attention here is whenever you encounter a moment where you're not able to make all the check marks, don't get mad at yourself and don't try to beat yourself up, but instead try to think what exactly happens that you're not able to meet that goal of yours. So for example, for Joe knows that he watches usually a lot of videos on YouTube and he's on Instagram a lot at night. This is how he entertains himself, so he kind of gets stuck on the internet for way too long right before going to bed, so he ends up going to sleep at 10 or 11. So what we can do easily to fix this issue is to have a cutoff hour at 8 p.m. So let's actually make that rule now. 8 p.m. social media cutoff, and then we're just gonna copy that over to his other days. And for the next week, Joe is gonna just monitor how turning off his social media at 8 p.m. is going to influence whether he's still gonna go to sleep at 8 p.m. or not. We're not certain, but that's one step towards trying something new to make your schedule work. So today we want to talk about our goals. So let's move on and talk about them. So if we click here on the left hand side on this book icon, we're gonna click add page. And then on add page, we're gonna type in October goals. And then here we can right click on this page, and then we can make it a sub page. I'm not sure if you can do that on Windows, but I know you can do it on Mac. And so now you can, sometimes it glitches, but I know if you turn off OneNote and turn it back on, it's gonna work. I have this issue all the time. So let's continue. So the first thing that we want to set goals is for our health, because whenever you feel healthy, you can actually be more productive in the rest of your areas. And also through exercising, you can develop self-esteem really easily. So let's do that. We're gonna type in health, exercise, and food. And we're gonna just highlight it, just make it look a little prettier, and then put a check mark. For now, Joe has a goal. He's trying to reach an ideal weight for him is 150 pounds. So let's write that. Ultimate goal, 150 pounds, okay? Now that we know that this is his goal, we should break down this goal a little bit, right? So currently his weight is 160 pounds, and what we're gonna try to do is the following. So in order for him to reach that goal, he needs to exercise, right? So we're gonna do the following: exercise exercise 0 out of 20 a month. So what that means is that he wants to exercise 20 times a month. Okay, and then the following is his weight goal. Weight goal is going to be 159.5 pounds. And currently he's at 160, so we're gonna go, and today is October 15th, and on October 22nd, he wants to weigh 159.5. And the reason we want to set the weight goal 159.5 instead of just here putting 150 pounds is because whenever we have a big goal, we want to break it down and make it as small as possible. So that way it feels so easy to go from where you are now to the next goal. So currently he's at 160 pounds. For him to go from 160 pounds to 159.5 seems like it's not that hard of a job. But if we put 150 pounds, that's 10 pounds away, and that might seem sometimes very hard. So what we want to do is make our goals as simple as possible. The ultimate goal should always be challenging, but the next step for you to do should always be pretty easy. So that's what we're gonna do. So October 22nd, he wants to weigh 159.5 pounds. And then we're gonna go to the next, and we want to, in order for him to lose weight, he wants to drink 1 gallon of water. And then the next thing he wants to do is sleep 8 hours, because he knows that way he'll recover from all the exercise he does. And not to be hard on himself, what he wants to do is at least walk 30 minutes a day. You might wonder, how is he going to count how many times he exercises? That's actually pretty easy. So what we're gonna go to our October calendar, and here in our template, right next to each exercise, we're gonna put a dash and a question mark, and we're gonna do this to all the days. On Wednesdays, it's gonna be optional. And so what we're gonna do here is for tomorrow, if you already done this days, don't worry about changing it there. Just do it from this point on. So for tomorrow, we haven't planned our tomorrow. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna copy this. And we're gonna expand this so everything fits in one line. And then now we're gonna start here and just type in 1. And the reason we're gonna type here 1 is that the next day that he's gonna write and make his schedule, he's just gonna write here 2. And so at the end of the month, he'll know easily how many times he has exercised, so that way he can hold himself accountable for that goal. So those are his goals. And one thing that we need to add is to actually read that goal on a daily basis. So here we're gonna do visualize my goal. And we're gonna copy this. And on Sunday, he usually likes to take his days off and do mostly nothing. Here's the thing about visualizing your goal. You don't wanna necessarily just read your goal. What you want to do, you actually try to imagine how would it be if you actually drank 1 gallon of water a day. How would you feel? How would your body feel? And if you had 8 hours of sleep, how would your body feel after having a good night of sleep? And also, once you lose the weight and become 159 pounds, how are you going to feel? So when you visualize your goal, don't just try to read them, but instead try to actually be in that place. So now that we dealt with the first issue of forgetting our goals, the second thing that we need to do is to remember our goals on a daily basis and have reminders that whenever we walk around our house or we are somewhere else, we want to constantly remember about our goals. And so how do we make that happen? The second thing that's really important to remember when it comes to goals is that we need to have constant reminders about our goals. So reading your goal is all good, but what we really need to do is think about where in our life do we spend most of our time, and what are the things that we do often, and how can we insert something in that task that you do constantly, a reminder about your goal. An example. So if Joe knows that he spends a lot of time on Instagram, he should follow a couple of pages that relate to transformation, body transformation, and weight loss. So that way he can consume media and content that will encourage him to keep going with his goal. So that could be one way. Another thing, if Joe knows that every single morning he drinks coffee, maybe he should get a mug with his desired weight goal. On a day-to-day basis, we do a lot of things, and so our task at this point is to think of things that we do constantly, pretty much on a daily basis, and how can we stick a reminder in there to remind us about a goal that's really important to us. So let's think, if we use our phones constantly, maybe you should get a phone case with desired goal for Joe, right? Or you could put, if you don't want to go and do that, what you can do is on your lock screen put the desired weight goal that you have. Another thing, Joe spends a lot of time in his room, so maybe a good thing would be is to, on all his 4 walls, put a paper with the desired goal. At this point, I'm gonna leave it up to you how you're gonna go and how creative you're gonna get about setting yourself reminders about your goal. In the next video, we're gonna talk about something really cool. How to break down your goals, right? Having your goals is good, but how can you break them down into small steps that are so easy to make? And also, we're gonna talk about journaling. So stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next video. Also, I'm gonna make a challenge for myself that you're gonna hold me accountable. And it's not about running a marathon in 3 hours. It's actually pretty cool, and it's gonna be really challenging, and I probably will need your help for it. So let's watch the next video and find out what it is.